This week we'll be talking about all that happened at Gamescom 2022, from Lies of P to the weird Pokemon car. PlayStation making more movies from franchises you didn't expect. None of us expected it. Will Disney sue Destiny 2 Lightfall for stealing their Buzz Lightyear logo? The PlayStation hiking up their console prices everywhere but here, which is, kind of nice for us, not for everyone else. Microsoft and Nintendo responds to the PlayStation 5 price increase. And we have game impressions for Apex Legends, Yakuza 0, and Genshin Impact Sumeru release. I messed that thing up so much. Man. And more from Season 6, Episode 32 of Press X to Start podcast. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, a.k.a. Sexy Bad Choices, a.k.a. Technati is not really that hard to say. I don't understand why everyone has such a problem with it. It's the whole Genshin Impact thing. A.k.a. Man, I really cannot say that word. Sumeru. I was just going through in my head,
Sumeru?
like I was gonna say it out loud, but I was like, no, am I saying it wrong? I think I'm saying it wrong. Yeah. I keep thinking soup, 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 soup. Who else is here?
I am Sean M.F. Ross.
What the MF stand for?
That's not the movie Andy watched. Lightyear can't be the movie that Andy watched.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Actually, I didn't see that movie. I heard the feedback and I was like, I think I'll pass. Or
It wasn't terrible. They're just
Once again, they decided to do a time travel story, and that immediately fucks up the way your narrative works. Who would have thought?
that's just not. No, man.
Oh man. And last up, it's you. It's you.
That was him introducing himself.
Wait, what?
We need him a soundboard. That's what we need.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, well, now you know who we are. Press X Start Podcast is a weekly show where we talk about the latest gaming news, review the biggest games, and give you our thoughts on the games we are playing. Our goal is to expand the video game media landscape through an underserved point of view. There's a word in my head, and I just can't okay, Sean. What's the name of the car? The car company? Subaru.
You're
Is the
mixing
word?
Subaru with Sumeru?
Yes. I hate English.
Neither one of those words is English.
Do you have like a limited amount of space and you're trying to figure out they're battling for space up in your head? Are you like
Yes.
99.9% full?
Of water, yeah. Okay, now that we've figured that all out, before we jump into the podcast, we have an announcement to make. We finally hit 100 subs on YouTube. Thank you so much to all of you people who subscribe to us and who believe in our dream of world domination. Now that we've hit 100, we're going for 1 million. So help us get
Fuck 101. To hell with 1,000. Straight to 1 million.
No, our
We
next
believe in
goal
you.
is like 110. Like just help us get to 110.
101, man. Just one step at a time.
No, we're actually at 100. We're actually at 102. So look at that. Look,
Oh, look at
that.
us.
You ask, and our 102 listeners, they do it.
Bad and bougie.
All right. With that being said, Avery, take us into the quick hits. But before you do that, hey, listener, guess what? We just did a whole wrap up of Gamescom 2022. So make sure you check that out, and then hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you are watching this. If you're listening, make sure you pause the podcast and leave us a cool review because we deserve it. You hear that? We deserve it. It's not reparations, but we'll take what we can get. All right. With that being said, Avery, what is happening on these quick hits?
All right, cool beans. So I'm gonna do my best to get us in and out, and whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm here. I'm not here for a short time, here for a long time. So entering Avery's Film Corner, which was supposed to be a joint segment between me and Marcus, God rest his soul. He got bit in the eyes by got bit in both eyes by snakes. It's a
Terrible.
horrible thing.
Went through his glasses too.
Went through his glasses. They came with him in his luggage from LA. Like they're San Francisco snakes. They came down from San Francisco, hid in his luggage, and bit him while he was currently in Maryland. So everyone in Maryland, watch out for snakes like over your eyes.
Yeah.
Anyway, HBO. Here's a bunch of video game and fucking film news and shit that's really cool that I wanted to talk about. Number one, we got from fucking Deadline. No, this is from Kotaku. That The Last of Us TV show sure looks like a video game. This is from Claire Jackson. So HBO had a big, in the midst of the Warner Brothers HBO drama, it had a HBO Max, HBO fucking sizzle reel of all the content they've been working on. A lot of really cool stuff. But they ended it with The Last of Us, which got the premiere slot. And it's the first actual live action footage that we've seen. So a bunch of recognizable scenes from the games. We got Bella Ramsey doing her Ellie, and then we got Pedro Pascal, who doing a chef's kiss pitch perfect. I'm going to do Joel impersonation, which is fantastic. What do you guys think of this footage?
I did not like Ella's voice. Ella, whatever.
Oh man.
But I'm excited to watch the movie. Show. Hopefully she changes my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I like from what they showed, it was like, oh, this is cool. Like this is looking like it's gonna be Last of Us. Oh, they also showed like a snippet of the one of the infected in the wall or something. Was clicker?
Did it?
Clicker in the wall.
I
Yeah.
need to go back and watch it.
Yeah. So when I first saw it, I was just like,
Titan?
it was more so just like, what is that? But it was I forget the actual stage in Last of Us, but like it was like kind of like fused into the wall or whatever. It was like,
Mm.
I was like,
The final stage of their evolutionary cycle.
Mimir?
what he said. No, I don't.
I'm
I don't
joking.
know,
I'm
man.
just
Oh.
So yeah, in other film news, we got another of the PlayStation Sony IPs beginning movie rights. This is Sony's reportedly working. This is from VGC. Sony's reportedly working on a Days God game. This is from Andy Robinson. Yeah, they're working on a Days God game, Days Gone game. Instead of
James
yeah, well, I'm trying to speak fast and it's fucking up my brain. Instead of what's his name, Sam.
the voice actor? Or
Instead of getting Sam, the voice actor from Days Gone, who also does the motion capture and the facial capture for that character, it looks like they're going for a Scottish actor named Sam Hugan, who's known for Outlander, to be Deacon St. John.
Twitter was rightfully upset. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? He's
In a world like
right there.
That's so weird. Yeah.
He's right there.
In a world in which we're not getting a Days Gone sequel, and me generally liking that game, if not loving it, I'm okay with a movie adaptation of this franchise, but it's going to run into the same problems that Days Gone as a game franchise ran into. Is we have Last of Us at Home situation, where like, why would you play this game when you have Last of Us? And so why would you watch the show if it's being made by there's an HBO version on of Last of Us? It's not a hero there.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So the voice actor is Sam Witwer.
Yeah, Sam Witwer. There we go. Darth Maul. There we go.
He was Dark.
No, in the Clone Wars, he does Darth Maul.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I know him from Being Human.
I mean, I think we all know him as Being Human, DJ.
No, Sean, it's a show about a ghost, a werewolf, and a vampire all live in a house together with a human.
It's a American adaptation of a really good UK show that went off the rails. What it means is I watched the first season of that show, like the actors, and got like bored by the end of it because like, oh, this is just not as good as the UK show.
Don't let the queen hear you say that. Next.
Next, we've got a Deadline story. This is from Matt Grobar. Gravity Rush film based on PlayStation game in works from PlayStation Productions and Scott Free. Anna Mastro attached to direct from Emily Jerome's script. These are a lot of words that means nothing to you unless you care for film. The only Gravity Rush is not the property I would have picked out of obscurity to make a PlayStation production film, especially not a live action PlayStation production film. That being said, Scott Free is Ridley Scott's company, which means Ridley Scott is involved in some manner. And regardless of how you feel about the content of Ridley films, that man knows how to like direct a vista and world And so I'm going in with the hopes that regardless of what this film is, it's going to look great.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it being Gravity Rush, as Avery said, like, you definitely wouldn't have guessed like that would be the thing to do. But those who don't know what Gravity Rush is, it is I never played it, but I got this trailer so you can see what it's about. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I need to
crazy.
play
And
it. I need to play the first game again.
It's an Asian influenced superhero game in which you have the ability to manipulate gravity.
yeah,
Mm.
so like you're going up walls, like gravity is flipping all around. And like if they can capture that on screen, that will be insane. Like, that would be so, so cool. But again, like, this was something that I would have not guessed them going for Gravity Rush, but, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
In more video game IP nonsense, we have a story from Eurogamer. This is from Matt Wales. Netflix's live-action BioShock movie will be helmed by I Am Legend director, with the Blade Runner 2049 writer also on board. Okay, so a couple things here. What I like, Blade Runner 2049 writer. That movie is a fantastic movie, and he's not the reason it's too long. Two. But then we get into the negative column. Two, I Am Legend director. I Am Legend is a fantastic. It's a great movie, but it's a movie from like 10, 15 years ago. I don't think it's the movie you use to advertise what this director's style and theme is going to be, and especially the way that movies have evolved. And three, negative, Netflix. And you'll figure out, and you'll understand why I count that as a negative as we go on.
But wait, real quick. I do like that they're pinging the I Am Legend director, because I feel like you can pull a lot of elements from that in terms of this main character having to deal with being by themselves the entire time with like the threat of this enemy that is like a somewhat intelligent, like always just, having to survive and deal with like, okay, well, I have to make sure that I do this stuff before this time because the enemies will be out or whatever. Like I think that's cool. But yeah, you are right that I Am Legend came out like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right.
Like, I think Michael Green, the director in question, is a good director. He made one of my favorite DC films, Constantine.
I
But
like
he's also been caught up in Catching Fire, the second Hunger Games movie, or the
Does it matter?
it does, like, it's one of his most recent credits. So it's like it's a whole yeah.
Okay.
So in our next Netflix news, this is a weird one. This is directly from Netflix's Tudum platform. I have no idea what that is. Whatever. It's official Netflix. This is from Ariano Romero. Umbrella Academy to power up for fourth and final season. This means absolutely nothing to video games until you look into the fine print and they reveal that the creative on the Umbrella Academy is one of the people that's being tapped for the Horizon Zero Dawn adaptation. They also went on to clarify, hey, Aloy is going to be in this show. Yeah.
Wait, in
this Horizon show, Aloy will be in it.
Wait, this is the same show that they were talking about is at the start of the whole Horizon stuff, right?
That's what we assumed based on things that had been talked about. They never really clarify what this type of show is actually going to be. We all just took basic information that was extrapolated from like things they talked about and said, oh, this is probably what the show is going to be. Or realistically, what we hope the show is going to be. Because our final story is from Deadline. This is from Nelly Andreeva. Resident Evil series canceled by Netflix after one season. Now, I brought up all of this because I've talked a lot of shit about Netflix, and this is the reason why I'm talking a lot of shit about Netflix. And why I'm not excited for the BioShock movie, nor am I excited for this Horizon show anymore.
We're going to get one season of Horizon.
Not even we're going to get one season. We're going to get one season of Horizon, and we deserve to get one season of Horizon. We're not going to get a situation where, like, oh, man, the show's the best thing in the world. Oh, we only got one season because we only got one season. We got to show us, like, how do we cheap out on making this world look like that game on a Netflix budget?
Man, give it to some YouTubers. Give them the fucking what's that? Halo Forge, GTA video creator shit.
Oh, let them go at it themselves.
Let them go at it with that shit. I don't want to see that. I think they do a better job than Netflix.
So okay, so who on this cast have seen the Resident Evil show that got canceled? Did you see it, Sean? I mean, I don't know why I
What?
asked the question that way. It should have just been Sean. Did you see it?
What's the purpose? It was canceled. Like, why
So
get invested in a show that I know will never be?
so I watched it. I think I got 2 episodes in. Yeah, I got 2 episodes in, and I was like, "Alright, I'll go back to this show." Never got back to the show. I got to the point where I actually forgot that I watched the show until Avery said something, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I did see that."
How long was it on
I
before they canceled it?
Oh, it was
It's a
months,
Netflix show,
months.
so like it's been out for maybe 2 to 3 months at this time.
Yeah, yeah. But, I'm not surprised that it was canceled. The stuff that I saw from the show was fine. It was interesting, but it wasn't interesting comparing to all that I know of Resident Evil. And I don't know much about Resident Evil, but from what I know and watching the show, it's like this show shouldn't be called Resident Evil.
Well, the issue I have, I didn't watch the show.
Mhm.
So what I say here, if you're a big fan of the show, I apologize. I don't have the knowledge to really criticize and talk about it, but I have I've extrapolated a lot from these conversations around the show. So that being said, the show wanted to be Walking Dead in an era where Walking
Yes.
Dead is
Yes.
no longer a pop culture phenomenon, but they wanted to sell it
Yes.
with the IP of Resident Evil. And the weird thing I have about the entire development of the show is that they it's canon to the games. We were like,
Yeah.
what are they talking about? Everything that happened in the games have happened, except it's like it's just and everything from there just sounds like weird fan fiction to justify their Walking Dead situation. But shout out to Ella Belinsky, still a big fan of you. You can only get W's, Queen. Moving on.
This
All
just
right.
is upsetting
Oh, go ahead.
because I fear for Avatar: Last Airbender.
Oh, you would have feared for that the minute it got announced.
I mean, I did, but then I heard the original creators were involved, but then they bounced out, and it's just like,
Oh man. Oh man, yeah. Mhm. Mhm. All right. Before we talk about Destiny 2 Lightfall and will Disney actually sue them because of the whole Buzz Lightyear logo rip? Hey there. I always start this with hey there. What up, dog?
you're the man
Anyways,
now, dog.
if you were watching this show and you were enjoying us talk about, wow, I'm blurry like shit. Yeah, if you're watching us and you're enjoying what we're doing, we would appreciate if you would to hit the like button, if you were to hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Because if you do those 3 things, you will keep us going. And as you've done before in the past, you've got us to 100 subscribers plus some on YouTube. So keep it trucking. Make more dummy accounts if you have. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Well, if you do, don't tell us because that would be bad. That would be bad, right? If they told us.
Also, don't mess with Texas.
Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? Did this podcast change? Okay, that works. Yeah, so once you do those 3 things, that'd be great, and we greatly appreciate it. Also, you can pause this podcast if you are listening. If you're not listening, don't pause the podcast 'cause that's terrible. But if you're listening, pause the podcast and leave us a review because we'd really, really appreciate that, and that will also help us help our numbers on the podcast services that you're using and that your friends are using. And again, if your friends aren't listening to our podcast, tell them about our podcast. Get them listening, and we'll give you a gold star if you do that. Maybe. Um, yeah, so do that. Keep listening and we greatly appreciate it. So thank you. Now, Avery,
Yes.
what happened in Destiny 2? Something
All right.
happened?
So in a weird turn of event, like I haven't played Destiny since the original raid for Vanilla Destiny 2 came out. That's when me and all the original Press X to Start guys jumped in, tried to play that raid, rage quit because it was both hard and people were trolling, and just never went back to Destiny 2.
Yeah. I remember
Destiny
that.
has evolved into this weird free-to-play multiple expansion type of game that is now owned by PlayStation. Uh, And on the same day as Jeff Keighley's opening night live, they had a Destiny event, and I joked with DJ about after this because we both were, to a certain extent, live watching it. This is a better event than opening night live, and and which is sad because it was only focusing on one game that neither of us really play right now.
Yeah.
But long story,
who plays Destiny?
Not now, not anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did the entire spiel about why we about it. But moving on, so they showed off Destiny 2 Lightfall, their new expansion, where they showed off a new location. They talked about a bunch of changes to the game, including a full rework of the arc power. Then they also revealed that they're adding a fifth new subclass to Destiny called Strand, which allows everyone to give everyone a base like grappling hook ability, which apparently is going to work a lot in the verticality of this new location. And it also gives everyone new powers. Fun fact is that when they were developing Strand, they were originally making it for the Hunter subclass. And then they realized, oh man, this is way too cool. People are going to be so upset if Hunters can grapple around the map like this. We should probably put this on every character. So once again, Hunters, the best characters in Destiny.
I should have made the Strand class let you deliver packages. Anyway.
And last week we also talked about the end of the episode that there was a Fortnite integration into Destiny. It was actually a lot bigger than we originally thought. So they revealed that there were 3 skins, well, not even skins, armors based on Fortnite characters in Destiny 2. The Hunter gets, I want to say, a Mega, which is a Fortnite skin. The Warlock gets Drift, and the Titan gets the Black Knight. And once again, which we talked about last year, those armors are sick. They also talked about Destiny. This integration is coming, however, because Destiny 2 is now going to be on the Epic Games Store, and a bunch of Epic games now have Destiny content in them. So Fall Guys has Destiny content in it. Probably Rocket League is going to have Destiny content in, and then bigger yet, Fortnite's gonna have a Destiny inclusion in there, and they put Akora Ray, Zavala, and the Stranger because Kate is dead in there as downloadable skins.
Such a dumb move. So they should have put Cade 6 in there. Like they should have just did it. Like we have more experience with Cade 6 than the Stranger, and like that's annoying.
But yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
No, continue.
Yeah, I think what they showed was really cool for Lightfall. I thought that was interesting. As you just saw at the end of the trailer, they showed the logo. The logo looked a lot like the Buzz Lightyear movie logo, and it's like, come on, like really, like this like it's really really close. It's close to the point where it's like Disney might like raise an eye, but yeah, I think what they show is really cool. The new big baddie in this is the Witness, and like in Destiny,
the Witness is a big baddie. Like something we talked about is that they're not adding new factions, so they were just fighting the fucking Rhino people again, the Legion.
Yeah, the Legion. You're right.
Yeah, the Legion again. Except now they have darkness inspired powers, and they're sponsored by the Witness.
Right.
Who is the character they revealed in the last couple of expansions.
Yeah. So the way that it works is at the end of one of the bigger expansions for Destiny 2, like you get a cut to like space and you see these triangle things kind of come out of space. You're like, oh my God, what is that? And it's like, oh, it's the darkness. Like, oh my God, the darkness is finally coming. Oh, crazy. And then now you see like basically this Witness guy is like the head of all those like triangle ships and stuff. And he has essentially like partnered up with the Legion as his army. And then there's also there's a new enemy type that's the Inquisitor. I think that's what the name is. And like it has other abilities, whatever. I think overall this trailer is really cool. It feels like Destiny meets 80s. And
Yeah,
it's
it doesn't
like,
look like Destiny to me.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, all right, that's cool. This city is like I think it's in Neptune or something. And it was like a hidden, yeah, okay. So it was like a hidden city that was at this point
The Cabal,
undiscovered
not the
by
Legion. They're not the Legion. They're the
Cabal.
Cabal.
You're right. Yeah. So, yeah. So this city is like it was hidden in whatever the dark side of Neptune. So they didn't know about it until just now. And it's like, all right. So basically, the city is Wakanda. Like that's what you're telling us. And then
Choop.
this city had their own version of the Guardians that like there's a bunch of like names for those. I don't remember the names. Like if you're really interested in Destiny 2, like you probably already know this stuff. But if you are interested in Destiny 2 and don't know this, definitely check out the Bungie their show of this. Like it was really good. We thought, of course, like this was better than what Gamescom had, which is kind of sad to say when like, this is just one developer doing a thing and Gamescom was a 2-hour almost nightmare.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. Great
Yeah,
showing from them.
Yeah. My last two thoughts about this before we move on is I tried my hardest to get DJ to come back to Destiny 2 so we can play this game together because that was the only way I was going to play this game again because the game. I didn't quit it because the game was bad. I just quit it because I got bored of the grind and other things. I want to do other things. And two, I just lose my train of thought. Fuck me, dude. Give me a second. Marcus is a bunch of dead air.
No, I can jump in. So one of the big things they had with this is that for the week that the trailer or the show dropped, all of the DLC for Destiny 2 was going to be free to play, which was awesome. But by the time you're hearing this, it's already week past, so sorry about that. But that's cool. But like, it is. I would probably say like if you're starting from zero, it is really hard to get through all that DLC in a week. Like it's a lot of content. But yeah, like it's cool.
My last train of thought is, PlayStation bought Bungie. Bungie's not a part of PlayStation Studios, but they're owned by Sony. And it was really interesting to watch this entire thing and not see a single lick of Sony representation, any Sony bonus content. It's very interesting that the deal that those two groups had when they came together was really about Bungie's autonomy and more or less. So I'm very versus as them as a game developer. So the idea that they might go out and make games for other consoles is probably still a real thing that can happen because other Sony entertainment studios do that shit all the time. And I'll be very interested in see because I now more credence into they didn't buy them for Bungie as a game producer. They bought them for Bungie's video game live service experience and see how that integrates to other PlayStation games.
Right. For sure.
Okay, so our final story is a fucking massive story of multiple things. I'm gonna wrap up into a lot of concise points. So strap in with me. I'm gonna lose my train of thought on multiple occasions. I apologize. I'm working on borrowed time. I'm dying here.
Oh no.
No, I haven't eaten and recording this. We were recording this relatively early to now, so I'm on fumes right now. Okay, our first story is from VGC. It's from Tom Ivan. Xbox boss expects console demand to outstrip supply this holiday season. I normally don't give a shit about these like CEO. The CEO interviews where someone interviews them, asks a bunch of questions, and they say a bunch of random stuff that has no real bearing to actual concise shit that's happening right now. But this actually matters to something. Our next couple of stories, which I'm all wrapping into this. So yeah, he says console demand to outstrip supply this season. He's pretty much telling you, hey guys, if you're still trying to look for consoles, it's still going to be hard. The things haven't changed, and it's going to be difficult for us. This folds into our next story, which is directly from the PlayStation.Blog. This is from Jim Ryan, the president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. PS5 price to increase in select markets due to global economic environment, including high inflation rates. So if you are in Europe, UK, Japan, China, Australia, Mexico, and Canada, which are pretty much all the major markets for PlayStation, a PlayStation 5 with an ultra high Blu-ray disc, so the disc version is going to and the PS5 digital edition are both going to be raised about $50 US.
So it's like 10%.
Yeah. So about $50 US. Higher through various inflations. Jim Ryan has gone on to explain that the pandemic is still difficult for us, and economic changes have made us need to raise the price of this console in order to continue selling it in our current state. And I don't think I've ever been this angry about a PlayStation decision in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like I normally I normally
Go
don't give a shit about most quote unquote anti-consumer PlayStation decisions because A, it personally doesn't affect me and I'm poor with empathy, and B, it's not that big a deal in the long run. But when you continue to make these decisions over and over and over and over again, and you make a decision like this, it is a death of 1,000 cuts with your console. I think I understand the reason why they would do this economically based on everything that's happening in the world. It makes sense. It doesn't stop it being shitty. And what really annoys me the most is, okay, bet you've risen the price by $50. Okay, put in more value into that console with maybe the digital things that are infinite that you own. Like, how hard would it have been to, I bet, 6 months of PlayStation Plus Premium with these consoles for the time being. So at least there is a value proposition to make this make sense, because the issue I generally have with all this going on, and I'll let you guys talk afterwards, I apologize, because I've been steaming on this for a fucking full week.
Oh yeah, man.
Is that it just screams of tone deafness and a lack of transparency. Like, here's the thing: Avery Williams, if they gave me this information and I was still in the market for a PS5, I would have been like, I bet, cool. Why are you raising the price? At no point in this did he give a transparent answer of why the reason it's a transparent price and why you're picking these countries.
Markets, yeah.
Yeah, why these markets? Because like, if I was one of these markets, I'd be like, oh, PlayStation just doesn't give a shit about us because they didn't raise the price in the US.
Yeah, it's.
I think they charge what the market will bear, and the US, the optics are just more visible here, I feel. And Microsoft can't raise the price because they're still sitting on the shelves. I'm looking right now and I see one, two. I can go pick one up right now. And I'm looking on Best Buy's website, and the next 10 closest stores, I could go pick one up right now. You can't do that with PlayStation. It's unfortunate. It is what it is.
I said this at this point years ago. I guess, years ago, when I was like, man, these moves that are being made for PlayStation feels like big PlayStation 3 vibes. And guess what? It is back. It is back. This is bullshit, because the only reason why they're not raising the price in the US is because of the fact that US is so vocal on the internet that it would just be such a problem for them to deal with. And they are raising it in the other territories because they know that, like, all right, they're gonna be mad about it, but it's not gonna be as bad if we did it in the US. Like, that's the only reason. And it is so annoying because, even as Avery said, like, there is no clear reason as to why they did it. They said, and inflation's been hard on us, but inflation's hard on everyone. It's hard on us too. Like, what the fuck?
They're probably just not willing to take the amount of loss that it would be with the inflation and what's going on.
That's the thing, Sean. Then explain that, because like, my idea of what is happening is that, hey, we can't buy the chips required to build these consoles at the prices that we're selling them at. So we're raising the prices so that we can afford to continue to sell these consoles in the same amount and or more than we can, which is a simple and understanding thing to do. But instead, we got a bunch of business flim-flam about raising markets and economic inflation and all that, and not like probably the transparent reason that people would generally understand. Couple that with like, it's fucking cringe.
The thing is, like, they were transparent with us when it came to the chip shortage, and they said, okay, look, like, the supply chain is a problem. So we're not going to be able to get the consoles out as, as best as we would like. So, supplies are going to be limited. And it's like, all right, we get that. We understand. Like the fact that it's just like, yeah, it's kind of tough for us. What exactly is tough for us? I don't know.
The only saving grace of this entire stupid announcement is it's going to force a lot more people who are dead set on getting a PlayStation to just get a discless digital version. Because the
If they can
digital
find it
version,
though,
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
problem. Yeah. Because I
The
wanted the
digital
discless
version was
version and I couldn't get it. And like I from the news and stuff that I've seen, like I haven't seen anything about, oh yeah, we're increasing the supplies to the discless version. And the discless version is cheaper.
yeah.
So it's like there's no reason for them to increase the supply of the discless version because
It's
they're
both
essentially going to
cheaper.
lose
It's
money.
both cheaper and better than the competition alternative, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So this story wrapped into another 2.2 part story. That furthers this trend is that this is from Kotaku. This is from Zach Schweisen. Despite PS5 price hike, Microsoft and Nintendo won't be raising console prices for now. Both
For now.
when PlayStation news happened, journalists doing journalist things reached out to both Microsoft and Nintendo and asked them, "Hey, are you going to release? Are you also going to raise these prices?" Because PlayStation wouldn't do this if they didn't know about the economics of this. And Microsoft, who frankly doesn't give a shit about consoles because they want you to get into Game Pass,
Hmm.
no, we're not going to raise
They
anything.
got money to throw
Right.
away.
Yeah, and they've got the Microsoft money to throw and burn. And Nintendo is continuing on this Switch hype train.
Nintendo was already making a profit from day
Yeah,
one. There's no
yeah,
need to raise prices.
yeah.
So the thing about Nintendo, which I actually heard this from Jeff Grubb, and I was like, "Oh, that's actually interesting." They kind of got away with a price increase by releasing the OLED version,
Yeah,
the
I saw that.
OLED version, and it's like they raised it by $50. So that's kind of the essentially that's kind of the base model that they're like pushing forward now. So in a way, they were able to get away with the price increase, but without it being a news story, other than like, oh look, you get a better screen. And like, yeah, huh, cool. Mhm. But yeah, like this whole price thing, yeah, Microsoft and Nintendo are like, yeah, we're not raising anything now. Like, why would we? That's stupid. We'll wait till Sony does this and see if it works or not. If it works, then yeah, we'll raise our stuff too. But man, this is
And
just
then
this.
the third part of this story, in the last bit of things that I all tie into one giant story. This is from VGC. This is from Tom Ivan. Analyst predicts PS5 price increase will have minimal impact on sales. So here
Of
is the
course.
secret rub behind this. I am pissed right now about this. Next week, I won't be pissed. And I will be playing games on my PlayStation 5. I'll be playing The Last of Us Part 1. I won't even be thinking about this right now. And based on analysts, and peer analysts believe Sony won't revive its sales forecast because of pent up demand. I think the flippant thing I talked about when we first heard this story in our chat was people are gonna be pissed about this now, but a week later, no one's gonna give a shit about this, and people are just gonna keep buying PlayStation 5,
Yep.
which analysts predict is going to be the trend. Which
Yep.
makes it interesting if there's no way Sony would have made this decision if they didn't already have the projections about how much of ground they were willing to lose, and it seems to be not that much. And there's going to be no change to their forecast and everything like that. So yeah, we're all pissed. We're all angry at a stupid PlayStation decision. But apparently, it doesn't matter. People are going to just buy PlayStation 5s because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, like when Last of Us remake comes out, is this like people can be like, yeah, can I pay
Out of
$60 to get the
I think
console and the
yeah
game, like,
yeah like
or $60 extra? Like,
the 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 card in Sony's back pocket that allows them to make a move like this and not think of the consequences really is that their games are just fire. And they have a lineup that is just fire that people are super
yeah,
interested in
yeah,
anticipating. And if they keep up this pace, like this is a perfect opportunity. We gave bad news to put out a PlayStation Showcase to show, hey man, if you're deciding not to get a PlayStation, here's a list of games we're making in 2023 and beyond that'll make you
Yeah.
reconsider. And like,
exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. They know like the annoying part is that they know exactly what they're doing. Like they see their forecast and they're like, yeah, we're gonna raise this. They're gonna be mad, but like not everyone has a PS5, so there's gonna still be people out there wanting a PS5, and yes, $50 more, but at this point, they've probably saved that extra $50 just for the fact that they've been waiting so long to get this console, so it's not gonna be that big of a rub for us,
Yeah, that is the
which would
point.
suck.
That anyone who has the $500 right now to buy a PlayStation can easily wait a week or two, a month,
Yeah.
another paycheck, and be like, "All right, here's $50 more." If I really
Yeah.
wanted a PlayStation, that
Exactly.
doesn't mean it doesn't suck.
Yeah,
If you've been waiting for.
Yeah. And especially, like, seeing how, like, if you were to get a PS5 in other means, you're gonna be paying way more than an
Oh,
extra
dude, I
$50.
paid $800 for my PlayStation 5
See, there you go. There you go.
because the only way I could get one was to get a GameSpot bundle that included Spider-Man, a Call of Duty game, and an extra controller.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
sold the Call of Duty game. Yes.
We didn't talk about the Elite controller in Gamescom, Sony showed. Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah,
they
Sony.
showed.
Yeah, Sony.
Okay.
Every time they get a really good news, it immediately ruined with bad news. So yeah,
Yes.
that was the only
That
other
news?
the price increase of the
No.
console. Like the day,
Oh,
pretty much the day after they revealed the PlayStation 5 Elite controller, which I'm probably gonna have to sell my PlayStation 5 to afford picking up.
I'm
They
getting that bad boy.
increased the price. Oh, 100%. I love the
Man.
DualSense, and you're telling me I'll get a DualSense with better buttons, better triggers, that is moddable and has back buttons that I don't need to buy an attachment to utilize. They're just in the controller. The only
Yes, man.
the only thing they haven't talked about, which I'm assuming is just going to be part of the course, is it's going to have a better battery life.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
that's the hope. That's the hope.
And the hope
Like,
is the reality is they're shoving way more technology into the DualSense, which is already a monster of a controller. There's no way it's going to have a better battery life.
yeah. Like, the fact that you can pull out the analog sticks
If it gets drift.
is, oh my god. Like I am on right now on my second controller. But right now my second controller has drift in the left thumbstick. And I'm just like dealing with it for right now. And I'm
Hey. Just do what I do.
so happy. What do you do?
Oh, I'm gonna say it because he's already told me the story.
Oh.
And he's in the article of illegal behavior. He goes to a store and sells it back used and uses that profit to buy a cheaper brand new controller on discount.
Actually, no. What I did now is just go buy another controller with the same color at Best Buy with the Geek Squad protection. Just wait a few months and trade that one in for a new one. Now you got two fresh controllers.
Wow.
I mean, because their Geek Squad protection covers stick drift.
Wow. That is like that's you know what, Sean, you're amazing.
Marcus put the butcher from The Boys diabolical in right here because that is
Yeah.
bloody diabolical. Like I'm normally one to not shit on, but like frown on Sean semi-legal behavior in terms of but that is genius. Like fuck Buzz Lightyear for having a fucking a stupid protection
Yo.
plan that's biting them in the ass.
That's
on them.
amazing.
And GameStop
Oh
has
my
something similar
God.
as well. So I mean, hey.
Oh, trust me, GameStop. You can't go 5 feet into GameStop without them. Hey, you wanna get a protection plan on this?
Right. Like, no, it's a plushie. Leave me alone. Okay. That's it for our quick hits. We did it, guys. All right. Well, that has been our episode of Press X Star Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode and most of you enjoyed making it. Don't forget, we did a Gamescom 2022 wrap up, rewrap cop, hip hop, bebop. Yeah, so make sure you check that out. Yeah, and then after you check that out, make sure you do the whole like liking, the subscribing, and hitting the notification bell because we need your support. And then if you are listening to us, thank you for one. We appreciate it. And then pause this and then go leave us a review because we need that. We need you to do that for us. If you missed any of this, you can find all the details and more. Is that a screwdriver?
Yeah,
And more.
I'm on my Tommy Pickles grind right now. My door is broken. I need to get out of it, and this is the only way I can. So that was not me
Oh,
making a
snap.
joke. That was a real
Oh,
situation.
no. Oh, no. So that's your key to survival right there. All right. Yeah, you can find all details and more on our website at pressx2start.com. Yeah, with that being said, you take care, you be safe, you have a good time, and play some video games.